The video that has gone viral. Look at this, 132 million views. Now, this is on Nick Shirley's X page. This doesn't probably account for people who have been sharing it, covering it. It's probably going to end up being the most viewed video in history. Probably on X and on YouTube, God knows what. I mean, it is insane. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you've been under a rock. Nick Shirley went to Minnesota to expose the fraud. And he's saying that they've uncovered just in one day, 110 million in one day. It's absolutely insane. And this gentleman that he's with, David, which is right here, David had been collecting this information for a few years. He has been collecting this information. He had messaged Nick and said, hey, and Nick says he gets hundreds of messages all the time. He just happened to click on David. David has all this information that he got from an insider in the government institution or whatever they have in government in Minnesota, and leaked him all this information on all of these daycares. So when you go watch the video, David's got these receipts. He's got all this paperwork showing how much money each one of these daycare centers have received. Millions. Each of them have millions. And look, this has been going so viral, and I've been on X all morning for over an hour. I mean, the information is just coming out so fast. It's just me, guys. It's just me by myself. I wish I had a team. Please like and subscribe if you like the content I am creating. This could help me. I'm not even monetized yet, but to get out information so quick, you really do need a team. I mean, we're in a 24-hour cycle of news, and it's just boom, boom, boom. I mean, I turn around, I go, and I gather some information. I go, boom, something else has already come out. It's just insane. It's insane and miraculous at the same time on how fast this stuff is coming out. Now, I went to Nick's page because I wanted to go. I mean, I'm like, where do I even start? Where do I even start? I mean, guys, this has triggered massive where all these other independent guys are going around. I mean, we got Massachusetts people. We got Kent, Washington. I mean, we got Ohio. We got Minnesota. We got California. This is so vast. It's so vast. Now, I was watching Osmond Gold last night, and he was saying that he's predicting that this is in the $1 trillion of fraud that has been perpetrated on the American people. And I was thinking of titling this video here. What did I write down? I got a bunch of notes here. America, are you tired? Are you tired of the fraud yet? Are you? Do you want these people deported? Every damn one of them? Every one of them. I don't care if they've been here 10 years and they received a green card and then Biden and Harris waved a magic wand and made them citizens. Just because America made you a citizen doesn't mean you could come in here and start shouting al-Fada and then just rape and pillage the country. You need to go. And I need to know what you guys think about this. This is insane. This is insane. And I'm going to tell you what. They're all Muslims. They all practice Islam. All of them. All the Somalians. And it's always the same map. If you watched my video yesterday, go Google IQ map of the United States. The whole continent, massive, the whole continent of Africa is low IQ, considered retarded. So the theme is the prevailing wisdom that I've been getting from digging and diving. A lot of people are like, these people aren't intelligent enough to do this on their own. They're being puppeteered. Even Nick is on, well, let me see. He is on a podcast with PD. Do I even have it? Yes, I do. I have it right here. He's on here. I've watched some of this. This was live today. I was just covering all kinds of stuff. Oh, yeah, this is this is interesting. This is Tim Waltz was changing the flag. Did I miss it? No. Well, actually, this is him. Yeah, let me go back a second. Let me see if I can get that. I wish I had more detailed thing. Well, there's a clip in here, and I could put this in the description, and you can go watch PBD podcast where he's interviewing Nick Shirley, and he did it live today, where he's showing a clip of Tampon Tim with the Minnesota flag on one side, the American flag on the other. And guess what? They changed the flag. And the flag looks like a Somalian flag. Very similar to the Somalian flag. And then he also has a clip of Tampon Tim when he debated J.D. Vance. And I watched this debate. And of course, at the time, I had no idea the fraud that was going on. None of us did. But apparently he did. He did, because I've got clips, I've got receipts of back in 2015. They knew about this. They were running cameras, filming these people, bring their kids in, and then a few minutes later turn back around in Minnesota. They actually did some investigation. They got rid of a few bad apples, but if that happened, wouldn't you think they would, right then and there, and this was 10 years ago, people, that they would have just shut down the whole operation of every daycare center in Minnesota and said, we need to reevaluate everything. No. Did they do that? No. Hell to the no, they didn't. But he stood up on the stage debating J.D. Vance and said, oh, we've got the most. Yeah, they do. They have the most daycare centers that are providing health daycare for the kiddos so you could go back to work. Yeah, he stood up and said this. He stood up and said this. And it's just insane. And this has been a good interview. I did watch some of it, but I had to get busy with this video and get started with that today. Minnesota daycare scandal sparks concerns over election policy that allows a voter to vouch for others. Made for fraud. Now, if you watched my video yesterday, I said they have some dumbass policy where I go to vote, I could bring 10 people with me, and I could vouch for them? Yeah, man, these are my neighbors. Yeah, man, they're good people. Yeah, they're American citizens, whatever. This is why we need a national, united, across the country, blatant, you have to prove you're an American citizen. You have to have an ID, and you need to be vetted. At this point, my God, you need to be vetted. You need to be vetted. Somebody posted something and said, where's Trump? Where's Trump in all this? I'm sure he's going to come out. I'm sure, because this is insane. This has gone so viral, I can't keep up with it. I can't keep up with it. A reporter chases down owner of daycare to get answers after FBI raid into fraud. And this was, guys, let me get this down here. Look at the date. 2015. And guess who the culprits were? Somalians. Blanking Somalians. Again, look at the map. Look at the map. It's always the same map. There's no way they could have done this on their own. What was I getting to when I was saying that earlier? Where Nick Shirley was saying that some of the ladies that he had, had talked to in there, he's thinking, he's just assuming, obviously, and I think he's right, that these people inside because it's like 85% or even higher of Somalians just in Minnesota are all on some kind of welfare stuff like SNAP, Medicaid, all of it. They're getting assistance. I'm just having a brain fart on how to word it. Okay, there are like 85 to higher percent of Somalians, and some of it, and they've been here. I saw some statistics last night. Those that have been here 10 years, they're still on the federal funding, federal dough, getting social services. They need to go. If you're going to be a negative net on the economy, why were we bringing them in? Why were we bringing them in? It's all going to be because of votes. But again, back to the point where he was saying that these people, they're probably not getting paychecks. These people that are in these daycare centers are probably not getting paychecks. They're getting kickbacks, which there is videos. And I'm sure y'all have seen it. I mean, obviously, I am going to always be just behind on late to the game, but hey, I got to cover it, right? I got to cover it. But there was a video, I don't even know if it's in this one, where they were showing people getting payments out in the streets, paying these people in an envelope, paying them in an envelope, right? And this was 10 years ago. So you're saying these people are working here, they're giving them kickbacks. Who's getting all this money? Billions of dollars. Now, some of the Somalians, yeah, they got some nice cars. They live in a nice house. We're talking billions of dollars here. They're not getting paychecks, and they're working. A couple of them are at these daycare centers. Some of these centers have two on the government dole, two different daycare centers' names in one building. It has been absolutely insanity. It has been absolutely insanity. Let's see what we got here. Well, I didn't mean to do that. Stop. Why does it keep doing that? Okay. I made it stop. I got to find stuff. So now we have the Minnesota Department of Children's Services say they found no fraud and will continue payments to centers exposed. Now, we had the two guys, and I got a clip of it, came out last night, I believe it was yesterday, and said, we've stopped all payments. And I think, if I remember correctly, and we'll rewatch it, I know PBD showed a clip of it too, where I think across America, and it should be all across America. And then they had some guidelines. They had 3 steps that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to take pictures of the thing, and you're going to have to prove blah, 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 and all of this stuff. What kills me is, why would you have, let's just take Minnesota, for instance, have Minnesota, Tampon Tim's internal people, investigate this fraud when we all suspect he's part of it. He's part of it. What's driving me crazy, and let me know if I'm wrong, this fraud it's something we've never seen before in my lifetime. And Osmond Gold's claiming, he's thinking it's up to $1 trillion. I believe him. I think he is right, because you're talking adult health care, child care, adult care, people with autism, disability care, right? Then you have Medicaid fraud, which there was another thing that came out that Medicaid was some side company or whatever. We're billing Medicaid to different individuals, and when these individuals saw it on their billing, they're like, well, who's this company? Why are they taking $2,000 from this, and I hadn't even been to a doctor, or I haven't done this. Now, during the shutdown, I saw one of the senators, and I don't have the clip. I mean, I watched it, the shutdown was like, 2 or 3 months ago during September, whatever. One of them had stood on the floor and said the same thing. He was like, we have found fraud. We have found fraud in here. Well, what more has been done about it? Is it too big you can't do anything about it? Or could the government go, we're completely shutting off all zero money? Obamacare needs to go. All the subsidized the Democrats want to keep going, all it did was line their pockets and line the insurance pockets. Where is these billions upon billions of dollars have gone? Where has it gone? Where is it? Is it funding the terrorist groups in another country? Is it funding, which we all know they've already got ties to saying that they think it is going to fund terrorist groups, but look, is it funding the pockets of the liberals to go into their coffers to get them elected? We're going to get on a couple other posts. Here we go. So here she is. Hardworking taxpayers don't buy it. They deserve the truth and a full federal investigation. So this woman says that they went and checked it in one day. In one day. And we've all seen the videos. If you haven't, like the next day, you've seen families coming in and bringing some kids. It's just ridiculous. And some of these daycares are saying that they're carrying like 100 kids and stuff like that. So again, this is, what is her name? Did I write her name down? Yeah. Tiki Brown. Tiki Brown, DHS director. Yeah, I think she's a DEI hire. Yeah, I said it.
Each of the facilities mentioned in the video has been visited at least once in the last 6 months as part of our typical licensing process. For the current child...
Now, wait a minute. You said you went and visited them, but Nick went and the doors were shut down, said they're open Monday through Sunday all day long. Some of them have 100 kids in there, so you're telling me when y'all... She's full of shit already. She's full of shit already, people.
Care centers that have been named in the video, we have not paused. There isn't a current pause on any of their payments. As we gain more information from the folks that are out visiting today and gathering additional information, that may change. But currently, there is no pause on any of those individual centers. Each of the facilities.
Well, even after that, they have put a pause on it. This is just insane. Now, what I did is I clipped a bunch of stuff, sharing a bunch of stuff, and started putting it on my own wall. So I'd have, because just going back and forth, right? I don't have any help here, guys. It's just me trying to get as much information as I can to bring to you. Minnesota lawmakers confirmed that Tim Walz threatened them with accusations of racism and Islamophobia if they expose the Somalia fraud. So apparently a lot of whistleblowers, guys, have been coming out and saying this. Now, they got to have proof. They've got to have proof. They have got to have proof. All right, some of these, I mean, guys, it's, like I said, there's so much information. There is so much information. Does President Trump want those Somalians to have their citizenship revoked if convicted of fraud? I mean, I'm hearing a lot of people going, you just need to round these people up. They're a negative net to America. If you've got 80,000, let's just take Minnesota, guys. Well, I'm not even counting these other states. 80,000 Somalians. 85% of them are greater, are on some kind of social assistance and have been for a decade. Why are they here? They're a drain on resources. I keep mentioning, I was watching Osmond Gold. He says they're parasites. And what does a parasite do? It attaches to the host, which they attach to the American soil and suck us dry. But the thing is that can we be mad at them? Are we mad at the puppeteers who have perpetrated this to get billions of dollars? Billions, because look, it's the same map. It's the same map that we can always go back to, the map of low IQ. There is no way that they did this on their own. I think they knew that these people, these evil geniuses, demonic geniuses, brought these people in so they could use them to rape and pillage America. And this is what's happening. I'm telling you, the stuff's coming out of California. It's going to make Minnesota look like Disneyland. It's insane. This is so bad. And this is happening in every state. Every state. Especially those states who are sanctuary city states. It's insane. And that needs to go away. You can't be a sanctuary city. A state cannot hide criminals, because hiding a criminal is a federal offense. So why are we allowing a state to shield these illegals? My goodness. Press secretary, absolutely. It's something DHS, Governor, State Department is currently looking at. So here we go. We have Catherine Levitt.
Does President Trump want those Somalis to have their citizenship revoked if convicted of fraud?
Absolutely. And it's something the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of State is currently looking at right now. It's something this administration has already done. And we know that there are liberal activist judges across the country who will try to block and tackle this administration from pursuing justice at every turn. But that's not going to stop the president and his entire cabinet by acting on behalf of law-abiding, tax-paying citizens in the state of Minnesota and in states across the country.
I'm telling you what. Wait a minute, what is this? Justin's, it's number we are having to cancel. Okay, apparently his basketball practice is being canceled today. Oh, he's going to be upset about that. I guess I should be pausing and y'all don't have to watch me do this. We are having to cancel practice today. We'll resume on Friday. Okay. So, Children's home during our service project. Okay. He has no practice today. Aw. Yeah, he's still out of school this whole week, but he's on the basketball team for the high school. Send in the military. If this is not a national security problem, where I'm going with Osmond Gold, trillions of dollars, billions upon billions upon billions of dollars across America. There's some serious problems. And yeah, can we deport all these people? I think so. You send in the military. You have some big, all of those giant planes that you saw, all those Somalians that were stuffed into when they first got here, Obama and Biden administrations. Well, more Biden, because Obama did start kicking people out. He in fact, he did a lot, man. And remember the cages? And they were blaming it on Trump. It's like, nope, that was Obama. But I bet you a lot of people didn't hear that. Nope, they just saw Trump put people in cages, and that's what they believe, because people don't want to go do research. They want to get off their fat asses and go find out what the hell is really going on. So we've been told this bill of lies for decades, like, we need these illegals in here. We need the immigrants in here because they're helping. They're going to cut your grass. My kid would have loved, I mean, he could have go out and cut grass and do stuff. Because I taught him how to do stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're going to go. Because I got a huge yard, guys. Yeah, so we got a lot of weed eating. We got to trim trees. We got to do stuff. I mean, if you've got a yard, y'all know what I'm talking about. This was pretty, yeah, it's a lot to do. So I'm like, yeah, he's going to get out there and work. He's going to learn how to do something. A lot of kids don't know how to do anything. I was hearing somebody talk about it not too long ago. It's like, wow, these people don't even know how to do a skill. You want to feel good about yourself. These young men, they need to learn skills. And what are they learning? They're learning that because they're white or you're an American, that you need to feel guilty about shit or whatever it is, and this lie that's been perpetrated on us that we needed these people that to give them the HB1 visas from India? Look at the map. It's always the map. They're what, 75 and down? IQ? And how many for years have you guys made a phone call and you're on the phone with some guy you can't damn understand? And what we should all be pissed off of, and I noticed this over the years, is like, why the hell, no matter what state I stop in to get gas, it's either a gas station or a tobacco store that are run by Indians. How the fuck did they get this? How the fuck did they get this shit? I'm pissed right now. I am really pissed because I'm starting to think about it over the past decade or so. All of these businesses that why do they get money before you do? Why do they get special peripheral treatment before an American citizen does? And this is what they've done. This DEI shit, I am pissed. I am very, very pissed about this. I don't know. I think that, like I said, they need to get them giant planes, get the military in, and load them up. Load them up. Load them all up. You're on welfare? You've been on welfare for 10 years? I don't give a shit if you're a citizen. You weren't born here. You're from Somalia. We're sending you back home for free.
Country who have been ripped off by people who abused our immigration system, came to our country, do not love our country or respect our values, and now have been ripping off and stealing money from law-abiding Americans.
Because they will not assimilate. Guys, how many videos do you have to see and understand? They practice Islam. They obey the Quran. They got to live peacefully amongst the enemy until their numbers grow and grow. And then they can lash out to conquer. Go look it up. I'm not making this up. These people are never going to assimilate. All of those Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan need to go. They need to go. What are they doing? What are they doing in Texas? What are they doing? They're building mosque after mosque. They're bringing their cousins, and they're marrying their cousins. They're not going to assimilate ever. Never. That's why before, when you had people from the UK or maybe Ireland or Poland, these people were easily more assimilated to American society because we had similar beliefs. We have been lied to about melting cultures because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Why would you send your kid to school and they're speaking 2 or 3 different languages? To me, that would just be chaos. But to Tampon Tim, he's like, oh, we have people speaking 50 different languages. Y'all go look up the clip. Languages in the schools, and I'm thinking, my God, that would be chaos. And I don't want my kid in a classroom full of a bunch of foreigners who can't speak English because you just lowered his IQ. My God. My God, guys. My God. You have to understand, soak in the implication and severity of all of this. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
This administration is not going to tolerate it. And again, this is a whole of government effort. We've surged resources. As you pointed out, the Department of Justice has...
Okay, so she's saying that this administration is not going to, we're not going to put up with this. I was hearing a lot of pundits talk the last couple of days since this came out. They're like, if they don't see Tampon Tim removed, arrested, seeing people deported by the massive numbers, there's going to be hell to pay. That come the elections, be damned. That we would probably rather have the left in and shit go to shit. I mean, I've heard people say that. That's harsh. That's harsh. But we want results. We want results. You want to be put back in office, you better just stop your bullshit and get this done. Because I tell you what, you'll be in power for the next 100 to 200 years if you do this. And I'm talking about the Republicans. I am talking about the Republicans. They better start acting mega in America first, and then you can secure your power for here on, for a very long time, if not for another century. But you better do it now, not this pussyfooting around bullshit. They want to see, Americans want to see heads roll. We're done. We are done with this bullshit. We're done being called Islamophobia. We're done being called racist. We're just done with it. And it's all retarded. Like, you've dumbed us down. Yeah, we want the Department of Education gone. I was hearing something yesterday talking about, it was on the radio, and this woman was talking, she's a Christian lady, and she was saying how the reading in high school, they don't even have, maybe they might have one reading book to give to them. And then she said another parent had told her kids in high school, they didn't even read Romeo and Juliet. They watched a clip from the movie, and then they just talked about it. We need to get pissed, and we need to stand up. Our kids can't fucking read. They can't do basic math. I wonder if I shared this video. There was a video of a woman reading her bill. It was a black woman reading her bill. And she's asking the lady, the word was gratuity. But she's saying, who's grande? Who's grande? Who is that? Who's that? Like, because the tip was included. And the lady goes, that's the gratuity. She didn't even know what it was. Now, I know there's a big controversy, and people think tips, maybe people with tips is just going too far in America. I think Joe Walsh talked about it. Matt Walsh. I said Joe Walsh. Matt Walsh might have been talking about it or whatever. I mean, I started out in restaurants and things like that and waitresses because, good God, they were getting paid $2 an hour. And yeah, they work on tips. And then, lo and behold, the government's like, oh, shit, we got another way to make money and give it to the Somalians. Let's tip the bartenders, and let's tax the tips of the bartenders and waitresses. I was working at the hotel years ago, and I was a server working in banquets. And we got a gratuity. There would be a big gratuity on the huge party that we would do, right? And man, sometimes we were making like $15 an hour a piece. And this was 25 years ago. I mean, it was fabulous money. That's why I was doing it. I was a server at the time. I hadn't made manager yet. Guess what? They come along after I did this for a couple years, and the new general manager comes in and basically said, we're paying you too much money. And I stood up and said something. I said, excuse me? You said you're paying us too much money? He goes, oh, I need to rephrase that. Because I was like, nobody else said nothing. I stood up while he was talking because I was like, what? And I wasn't rude to him, but I said, excuse me? Because you just insulted me. Like, I'm not out here busting my ass, giving you good scores for people to come back and rate your hotel. It was at a Marriott hotel. I mean, you have to give excellent service. It wasn't some piece of shit, Econo Lodge kind of banquet. No, this was the Marriott Hotel, people. He said, yeah, we're paying y'all too much money. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to give you a flat hourly rate. So they keep all the gratuity. They made all kinds of money off of us by taking our tips. That's what they did. And that was about the same time period that they started cutting back people's hours. So they wouldn't have to pay you full-time benefits and give you benefits, health benefits, and all this other shit. Oh, God. We've been fucked over for the last 25 years that in my recollection of me and the workforce, like, my God, every time I turned around, it was something on the American people. No, we can't pay you. You're not going to get 40 hours. You can get 25 hours. So then you have to get 2 jobs, work 2 different jobs, but fucking an illegal comes in, Give them everything. Give them the moon and the stars. Give them every fucking thing. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Because looking back over the history and you start thinking about it, you're just going to keep getting more boiling and boiling mad that has brought us to this point, what they have done. And these companies are still doing it. I went up the other day up to my little local grocery store, which they got a wonderful, not a cafeteria. Well, it is kind of a cafeteria, but they got the bakery back there. And they got a buffet and stuff. You can go and eat and all this stuff. It's really nice. So I go up there and the woman's like, and I needed to order a hamburger so they could cook a hamburger. And it's real hamburger, guys. It ain't the crap from McDonald's and shit, right? So somebody in my household wanted a hamburger, so I go up there. I was like, yeah, I need a hamburger. She come back. She goes, man, it's just me and this other guy. We're the only one here. And my fryer's got something else in it because I ordered fries. And she's like, she's apologizing and stuff. And then I said, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make a big deal about it, right? I'm not going to get all bent out of shape because there's 2 workers and they're really busy. So I said, no, it's okay. I'll just go get something else or whatever. And then she says, she's like, they won't hire anybody. She said, and they won't give us 40 hours a week. So you got to hire. She goes, I don't understand it. They got a hiring freeze, and they only let you work so many hours a week, and then they're hard to keep people and stuff like this. So it's affecting the employees who are there. They're being overworked, underpaid, and they can't get 40 hours a week. She says, yeah, I posted it on Facebook, and I said, you're not worried about losing her job. This just happened last week, guys. I had this conversation with this woman, and I was feeling sorry for her. Look, guys, I mean, I was like, oh, wow. But she starts telling me that she's posting this, like the internals going on at this business, the grocery store she's working at. I'm not going to name the grocery store. But I was like, you're not afraid of getting fired? Because obviously, y'all know businesses don't want you telling their businesses, but damn, you did a hiring freeze. You won't hire people. You won't even staff enough people on a day like a Friday or a Saturday where they're busy. You got 2 people working. I mean, this is what companies have been doing. This is what they've been doing. It's either push the white people out so they can hire the illegals and just get away with murder and just get away with it. It's insane. But no, she said she wasn't afraid about getting fired, by the way. She said, I don't care. They can fire me. I'll just find another job. I said, well, be careful, I was like concerned for her because to me, she was a good worker. She's made me a hamburger before in the past, and she come out and I thanked her. I was like, thank you. So I think it was like a month ago I went, and I think my boy was getting the buffet and somebody else wanted the hamburger. So I ordered a hamburger, and she come out because it was the same situation. The guy says, hey, it's just me and the cook back there. I don't know if she has time to do it. So she came out and talked to me. I was like, and I told her that time, I was like, hey, if you can't make it, don't worry about it. I wasn't going to get all bent out of shape that particular day. But she ended up doing it. She did it. Now, fast forward to a week ago, this is when I had this second conversation with her where she's telling me, hey, I can't even use my fryer. I can't even make you French fries. It's insane. But this is just all part of it, all part of screwing Americans over. To what end? To what gain? So we're all low IQ, keep the liberal libtards in power, and I don't need a tinfoil hat to figure this out. I've always suspected it. And we all know they've been cheating. Rush Limbaugh's been telling us before he died for years that they cheat. Dead people vote. And then who do they vote for? They vote for Democrats.
Has already charged and prosecuted nearly 100 people. In fact, some of the buildings and some of the sites that Nick Shirley exposed in that video are under current investigation by the Department of Justice. One of those sites,
Wow. I had a feeling that was going to be said, like, because when Kash Patel came out on X, like, I think it was yesterday or something like that. Oh, by the way, CNN, even Fox News, none of them said shit, but I think Fox News was one of the first just to report on Nick Shirley because, man, it was going so viral. And then all of a sudden CNN and the rest of them kind of had to. And then Kash Patel came out. And, of course, he says, oh, yeah, we know we're basically, I'm paraphrasing, he's saying, yeah, we know. We've been investigating them. And this is just what she said. She said, oh, yeah, we know about this. What else are they going to say? I mean, how much do they know? We want to see heads roll. American people want to see action, not bullshit talk.
Midway building resulted in 13 defendants already being charged earlier this year under the leadership of our Attorney General and President Trump. So that is definitely going to continue.
It's not enough, people. It is not enough. I'm just going to let y'all stay here. Look, Americans are wide awake. Democrats, I'm telling you right now, Kamala Harris knew what she was doing when she picked Tim Walz as VP. She knew running for president wasn't about running for president for them. It was about expanding their operation. And that's kind of basically what I've been talking about. It's like they want control. So Biden opens the floodgates like we've never seen in our lifetime. And we have all these third world, low IQ. It's always the same map, people. Low IQ, flood into the country, get on the system, break the system down, and it's just votes. We're going to give them free shit. And they're going to continue to keep us in office. And the rest of us be damned. And keep telling us to murder our children. Keep telling us to get abortions, and boy, are they pushing for it. They want that damn abortion pill to be sent through the mail. These people are the party of death. Now, this woman, the reason why I posted this, basically she's just saying what I was saying a minute ago, bring in the military. So she's basically saying that it's probably too big. There's too much. They're probably going to have to send in the military. And that's basically what she was saying. Look at this. Tim Walz issues a full apology to taxpayers' vows to not rest until every penny is repaid and guarantees everyone involved will go to prison. Kidding. Just kidding. He called any investigation into the billions in fraud as white supremacy. He's not going to apologize for shit. No. Him and CNN and the rest of them are trying to find flaw with Nick's reporting. They're going to attack him personally. They're going to find somebody last night, and I saw it on Osmond's channel. Some guy took I think it was Destiny, took one of the clips out of the 45-minute video or 43-minute video or whatever it was that Nick made, one tiny clip of where Nick was standing, and he tried to say, this is so fucking retarded. It's the way the sun was at the time of the day and the way the shadow was. This is just fake. Nope. Okay. Whatever. Who gives a shit? What we saw was all the places he went that is just fraud. There's no kids there at the daycare. The windows are blacked out. The windows are blacked out. I love this when he said Tim Walz apologizes. And he went, I'm just kidding. He called any investigation into the billions of fraud is you're a white racist and Islamic homophobe. I said Islamic homophobe. Yeah, I said it. Guess what? Tim Walz is getting zooted. Getting out-zooted, baby. Look up the out-zoot, and you'll know what I'm talking about. He is getting zooted.
This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy.
Who's they? He keeps saying they. It was Nick Shirley. He's an independent guy. He's got on a hoodie and a little mic and his little phone that he's walking around filming himself. But he's part of some kind of huge white supremacist conspiracy. It's fucking retarded. It is retarded. And any of you people out there who believe that, you are retarded. Seriously.
So it sounds to me, Nick, that Governor Tim Walz is saying that you and others that are out there trying to expose this, you're doing it because you're white supremacists. What is your response to him?
Yeah, Tim wants votes. There are entire apartment complexes where white people have been pushed out of these apartment complexes because Somalians have taken over and they're inside of these towns like Minneapolis where they can go get votes from these people. And if you have 100,000 people that will vote for you because you're going to enable and let this stuff happen, and
also think about how were these people pushed out of these apartment complexes? Let's just say you live in an apartment complex, right? Maybe there's a couple of white families or whatever. Maybe some black families, black Americans, right? Blacks are Americans too. And then all of a sudden you were inundated with the whole fucking building is full of Somalian practicing Muslims. Somalian Muslims. Would you want to stay there? And be honest. Would you want to stay there? No. Nope. You'd get the fuck out as quick as you could.
Because you're going to call a white person racist for calling out facts.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen to a state like Minnesota. Minnesotans, they say Minnesota nice, but they are very upset. And I fully understand why they're upset. Because they don't have a governor who's actually working for them.
Isn't that been every tactic that we've seen the left do, at least in my lifetime, is they deflect, attack? I learned this from Rush Limbaugh. He says if they can't beat you on truth, stats, statistics, they attack you personally. And what have they done? They are doubling down. In fact, Tim Walz has doubled down. Oh, they are white supremacists. They are white supremacists. Who the fuck is they? Who is they? Is Nick Shirley a white supremacist? He's a 23-year-old independent journalist, and he's been doing this for about 2 years now. If y'all haven't seen him, go to his YouTube channel. During all those peaceful protests in Chicago and Ohio, he would go there outside the ICE buildings at detention centers and film these idiots outside. He's not right. He's not left. You know what he is? He's reporting what he's seeing right there with no agenda. Isn't that what news is supposed to be? Report it. Yeah, if you want to listen to commentary, which that's what I'm doing commentary. But I'm reporting what I'm seeing, but he doesn't have an agenda. He's reporting. He goes and investigates. He's not slanted to the left, and he's not slanted to the right, which is to tell you everything. But no, Tim doubles down, CNN doubles down, and calls this and just tries to attack him personally. It's pathetic. It's pathetic.
He's actually working against them.
Nick, your video's been viewed 93 million times. What do you think will be the result of this?
It's even more.
Do you think that things will change because of bringing attention to this, or do you think it'll be much the same, swept under the rug and keep moving forward?
Yeah, there better be change. People are demanding it. The investigations have been launched just from that video alone. And so there better be change because, like I said, we work way too hard to be paying taxes. We work way too hard to be not knowing where our money's going. And at the end of the day, the people in the government, they work for us. We don't work for them. And so it's their responsibility to hold these people accountable.
That's right. What I'm pissed off about, he comes out and does this video of the fraud in Minnesota. But this shit's been going on since 2015. Why didn't they look at all of it? Why didn't they put things in? I know it's rhetorical, people. What I am saying here, obviously, is rhetorical. But it begs the question, rhetorical, why didn't they put guidelines and stricter rules in place for daycare centers to open? So what? Did the floodgates of money open because of the pandemic? Yeah. That's when they exploded. They exploded. The Feed the Children program, which Omar freaking passed the bill for Minnesota. She passed the bill to do that. What does this say? Let them put this in the items of Gavin. Let me put this in terms. Gavin Newsom will understand. Trump is daddy. Daddy cut you off and said you can't use his credit card anymore. Why should California get federal funds when they obstruct federal immigration law? Investigate California's high-speed rail train to nowhere fraud. I heard yesterday, my God, y'all, I don't know if it was like 60 billion, 80 billion, or whatever. You can write it. Oh, you got the number wrong. Who gives a shit if I get the dollar amount wrong? The problem is that they got all this money and there wasn't one rail track laid. I'm telling you, even Elon Musk had posted, I might have shared it, we'll find out, if this going to make Minnesota look like Candyland. I'm going to tell you right now. Minnesota judge throws out. Now, this killed me. This killed me. And I tell you what, we all should be pissed off because if they arrest the rest of these people, these judges need to be impeached, by the way. They need to be impeached. Minnesota judge throws out a unanimous guilty verdict in a $7 million Medicaid fraud case. Now, remember when we saw all those, 70 to 80 Somalians got arrested for fraud for the Medicaid and feeding the children and all of this crap? Who paid this so-called judge and how much was she paid? The people of Minnesota should be outraged. Absolutely, they should be outraged. They should be pissed. So let's ask Grok about this story. I like this feature, by the way. Let's see. Hepburn County Judge Sarah West. Yeah, flood her phones. Flood Minnesota with get rid of her. Impeach her. Impeach this judge. Oh, my TV. My TV. It's because I've been on here a while. Overturned Abdel Fattah Youssef's August 2025 unanimous jury conviction for aiding a $7.2 million Medicaid fraud scheme through his home health care business, ruling the circumstantial evidence such as luxury purchases and a mailbox-based operation failed to exclude the possibility his brother acted alone without his knowledge. This rare judicial move, well, it's not being rare anymore. Every day, yo guys, watching the news, every day you turn around, these rogue, tyrannical, black robe, inferior judges are suing Trump. No, you can't deport him. No, you can't come in a sanctuary city. No, we're putting a stop to you. You can't even come into the courthouse, because that's where a lot of them were getting their... the criminals were going to the courthouse because they're criminals and illegals. So the ICE officers would show up and grab them. But tyrannical judges, left-wing tyrannical judges, were saying, nope, you're not even allowed on the property, which is retarded. We need to put a stop to it. This rare judicial move, again, I emphasize it's not being rare anymore. A judgment of acquittal aligns with Minnesota's strict circumstantial evidence standard requiring prosecutors to eliminate all reasonable innocent emphasis, a rule under Supreme Court rule amidst criticism for hindering white-collar fraud. The decision has sparked bipartisanship outrage, and jurors expressed shock, experts calling it highly unusual, and Minnesota AG Keith Ellison appealing while broader scrutiny intensifies over the state's handling of billions in welfare fraud. What does this send out a message? So we're gonna go round up some of these other low IQ, which again, they have help and they need, and I get it. Kash Patel and them need to methodically weave this web to find, because it's like a living organism. So you got a pyramid. You got a pyramid. There's a pyramid. There's my little draw pyramid. Pyramid. It's a pyramid scheme. So you got the bottom feeders, which would be the Somalians. You got the suckers, which is the American people. Who's at the top? Who's at the top of this pyramid? Remember the pyramid schemes where remember Amway was like a pyramid scheme? So you're selling stuff and then you recruit people. And if you recruit people, you move up and this kind of stuff. So who's at the top of this pyramid getting all of this money? Because when you sold Amway, you didn't make shit. It was a big scam. It's like a Ponzi scam. So these people aren't making money. They're just giving them enough money to keep them happy because they're not in Somalia anymore. They're here in America. And we gave them a car. They got a nice apartment to live in, if not a house. We just given them just enough. Just enough to where they could still collect welfare and food stamps and Medicaid. They can collect all of it. All of it. Minnesota circumstantial evidence standard. Do we want to know? No, we don't. Because we know it's bullshit. CNN knows what they are doing. They are subtly trying to discredit Nick Shirley by saying his shared don't you love how they use these words? Anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim views before. CNN could have just reported what's going on, but they given certain context to guide people to think a certain way about Nick Shirley. We know this. It's called gaslighting the American people. Stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Nick Shirley's a white supremacist. Nick Shirley is anti-immigrant. Nick Shirley is anti-Muslim. I tell you what, I'm anti-Muslim. Islam is the problem. I put up a short video. I did a short yesterday. You need to go look at it. I only got a few shorts, but I did it yesterday. David Wood posted a quote from the Quran about Muhammad when he was a baby. And said, I don't know what happened to his mother, but some guy came along and breastfed him. A guy. It's in the Quran or the Sadi or one of the, but I don't know if it was one of the Dawa guys or one of their writings or whatever. Whatever. You can go look at it. It has where it's at, where they find it, where he found it, where David found it, and it has the Arabic writing at the top, and then it has the translation. So some guy comes along, finds Muhammad, starts nursing him from his own breast from Allah. And then he does this until he finds a woman to take over. I'm not making this up. Now, I could go on and on and on about Islam, but you go do your own homework and think for yourself, people, because the people are retarded. The people are retarded.
Right now, Republican lawmakers are asking Minnesota's Democratic Governor Tim Walz to resign after renewed focus on a state fraud investigation. A viral YouTube video by a creator who has shared anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim videos in the past put a major national spotlight on the investigation. The video claims Somali-run child care centers in Minnesota are committing widespread fraud and provides limited evidence to support the allegations. It was a video that was amplified by Vice President J.D. Vance, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Elon Musk. Now, the FBI and DHS say they are surging resources into Minnesota, including at those child care centers.
Notice initially how this man tries to frame Nick Shirley. There's a million things he could have said about Nick Shirley. He chose to say that he shared anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim things in the past. For a large portion of Democrats, once they hear that, they automatically tune out whatever Nick Shirley is saying. It's a subtle way to delegitimize what he's saying and what he's doing. Then later on in the video, they say that he has a limited evidence, which technically is not incorrect. And that would lead someone to believe he thinks he has some evidence, but probably not very convincing. It could very easily lead someone to believe that. Rather than saying, yeah, he was at daycares in the middle of the day, nobody was there, you couldn't see in, no one was answering. These daycares didn't even want more business. They didn't give him a way to register his child. They turned him away.
No pamphlets.
They genuinely seemed not interested in getting more business. There's a lot of context that they could have gave that they chose not to give. Because if you think about it, why would someone not want more business? Again, humans operate off of incentive structure. So if they don't want more business, what's the incentive driving that behavior? Because in the vast majority of cases, the vast majority of cases, businesses always want more clients. So to watch so many different businesses not want more clients and not seem to take client acquisition serious, it makes you ask questions. But rather than CNN being like, yeah, there is a lot of evidence that's very sketchy, they don't want to be realistic. They want to help push a narrative. And that's their prerogative. I'm just calling it out so people can see it for what it is and help me call it out. Because it's turning into an information battle. Many on the left, like I said before, are going to try to downplay this, make it not be a big deal. They're going to try to make it go away. Also, right now, there's a 43% chance that Tim Walz is charged with a federal crime before 2027, and this would not be good for Democrats going into the midterms next year. So they'll likely try to downplay it. So this is another reason you're likely going to see many of them fighting this and trying to act like these things aren't happening, or at the very minimum, trying to minimize it. And if we see daycares with government funding and we don't see them operating a legitimate business, or it seems sketchy, yeah, let's call it out. Let's look into that because, again, that's taxpayer funds. So yeah, CNN is playing subtle games to try to undermine what Nick Shirley and many other journalists are out there doing right now. So yeah, that's all I got for now. Just a reminder,
I don't think the evidence is sketchy at all. You had David Guy with him, who'd been doing this research for a few years, had an insider giving him printed off sheets of each daycare and how much money that has been flowing through that daycare. Why is that daycare getting $1 million, 1.2 million or 2.5 million? Each of these daycare centers claiming they've got 100 children. I guess they could do a survey on how many people have children, because you have birth rates, births. So how many kids are in the area? How many children are in the area that are maybe white American, black American, and then Somalians, right? How many children is there? How many of those white kids are actually going to these daycare centers so these white parents could go to work? How many black parents are sending their children to these daycares? Because apparently, from Tim Walz's mouth of the clip we saw earlier of when he was debating J.D. Vance during the presidential race, he was saying, oh, we have affordable child care open. So that means, we're going to give them millions of dollars to, why would you need $50,000 a month for 100 kids? I mean, how much usually is it a year to put one kid in? I mean, it's what, $13,000 just to send a kid to school every year for one kid, right? Depending on what state you're in. 13. That's for a year. That's for a year, one kid. So you got 100 kids. So what are they? I want to see a breakdown of how much money these so-called daycare centers are supposed to get for one child. And that means, like, if I had a small child and I needed to work, I'm going to drop my kid off here. It's completely free? Completely free? Or is it based on my income? I just got a lot of questions here. How is this actually operating? Right? Does it provide food? Does it provide snacks? And number two, I would never, ever take my kid to a daycare center run by Somalian Muslims. Are you kidding me? What the fuck are we talking about here? What are we talking about? You tell me, would anybody with a small child going to put their kid in because most of us are Christians. You go take your kid and knowing that they're Muslims and let your kid stay with them all day while you go to work. Oh, hell to the no. This don't even make sense to me. So this whole operation, I'm just guessing, and I'm probably right. Obviously, it's a fraud, but basically, it's just in the Muslim communities. Muslim communities get everything, just like the Indians get the tobacco shops and the not grocery stores, but little markets. Yeah, little markets, little grocery stores, tobacco stores. I thought about going over that. A Massachusetts caseworker blows the whistle on Somalia fraud. Now we're in Massachusetts. When I had an appointment for a child who went daycare on vouchers, I was never let in 100% of the time. Massachusetts is one of 21 Democrat states withholding welfare data from the feds, which is true because they came out and said, hey, we're not going to we're going to hold these funds, and by God, they better stick to it. We need data on all of this shit. I think the government, Trump just needs to go, we're shutting you all off. If you can afford this bullshit, did you pay for this bullshit? You wanted to be a sanctuary city. So you pay for these people's welfare. You pay for their SNAP. You pay for it. So what's going to happen? Like what's happening in New York, what's happening in California, businesses will leave and go to the red states. Because what? New York is wanting to tell you can't even sell your house now. He's trying to pass some stupid ass bill. You have to go through some bullshit bureaucracy before you can sell your fucking house. I think that should go to the Supreme Court. Like, what the hell is happening here? What is happening here? Because they're trying to build a socialist society, bring in third world, low IQ. It's always the same map people. Somebody's obviously helping McDummy. Somebody's obviously helping him. This guy, Cam, I follow him on YouTube. He said he went to the listed addresses in Howey Safar Daycare in Kent, Washington. Residents say there is no daycare here. Guys, we could just keep going. Gandhi Yasef Mohammed owns a network of assisted living facilities that's racking in millions of taxpayer dollars from Minnesota. Mohammed has a prior arrest for laundering money. Really? And Minnesota gave him fucking money, and he's got a list of arrests for laundering money during the feeding of our children's fraud scam. He admitted fraudulent meal claims. And here we go. So they take advantage. They're not helping the autistic people. They're not helping the elderly. And again, would you send your mother to an assisted living with Muslim Somalians? Good God, no. This is ripe with fraud. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Because who the hell would be sending their parents there? I certainly wouldn't. And I hope you wouldn't either. Send to these people. Plus, they're not even taking care of people. They didn't give out any meals. It's retarded. Breaking dark footage of the Quality Leering Center in Minnesota exposes the truth. Abandoned playground, old mattresses, trash, and grime everywhere. Creepy doors going underground. The media gaslighting to now try to convince us it's a real daycare. It's truly pathetic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this. So somebody went around back because one of them said, oh, people don't use the front door. They go around back. Oh, y'all saw that on one of the video clips. Sorry. And this has got music. We're going to turn the music down. My apologies. Look at this. Creepy old back. Looks like something out of Resident Evil game. Yeah, I played Resident Evil. I like the second one with Claire and Leon. I think was the best one. And the remake one is terrible, by the way. Look at this. What the hell? Leering Center. Leering Center. Unbelievable. Let's see. Here, Elon Musk. He called it. Perform audits on Social Security, Medicaid, Medi-Cal. welfare and disabilities, as I was saying in February this year. At this point, I am 100% certain that the magnitude of fraud in federal entitlements, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, welfare, and disability extends the combined sum of every private scam you've ever heard of by far. I'm imagining that we're still functioning as a country with the amount of money that is just going bye-bye. Going bye-bye, sending it back to Somalia, which Somalia is still a shithole, by the way. India, still a shithole. The Middle East, pretty much. It's like you stepped back 2,000 years ago, unless you go to some of the major cities. It's all the same map, people. They need the Western civilization with high IQ who invent things, water purification, buildings, just basic life structures that they can't do. Because if they could, Somalia wouldn't be Somalia. The continent of Africa wouldn't look like the same map that we keep seeing. It's unbelievable. The leftists are sharing this video from CBS saying that they debunked Nick Shirley's exposure, but there's not a single instance in the video showing operational daycare centers. Why? Because they're not actually operational. Lamestream media is full of crap.
According to federal prosecutors, it was really during COVID that fraudsters set up these fake restaurants or sham businesses and health clinics that would provide things like meals to school children or behavioral health services or housing to people with addiction. And because during COVID you didn't have the same checks and balances, you had social distancing, you couldn't have the site visits, you couldn't have the in-person inspections, well, the fraudsters got away with it all and provided the receipts and collected boatloads of cash from us, the taxpayers. More than 90 people have been charged in the schemes, mostly Somalis, and more than 60 people have been convicted. Now you have this viral video getting traction online. It's from influencer Nick Shirley, and he visited several daycares, Somali-owned daycares in the Twin Cities, and basically accused them of doing the same thing, running these sham operations where kids didn't show up, but still billed the federal government and collected millions of dollars in Medicaid funds. We visited those sites too, as did state inspectors many times over the last 6 months. And we found the facts on the ground tell a different story. Those daycares, many of them were written up for safety violations, things like maybe busted equipment or staff training issues, but that's not the same as being fraudulent.
Here we go.
So it's important to put all of this into context.
It's important.
Granted, fraud is indisputably an issue in Minnesota, and next year it's going to turn up the heat continuously on state officials, including Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who's running for re-election. And there are 14 programs, Medicaid-funded programs, that are currently under investigation by state and federal government. But childcare is not one of them. Again, this is something we're going to keep following well into next year.
They have to discredit him. Oh, well, we went there, but we found out, some of them, or was all of them closed because of, maybe they had to fix something or whatever. 2 daycares in one building. No kids. People who live by, near there. Never any kids. David, who was with Nick, said he's been doing his own investigation. He's been coming day after day after day to all of these different places. No kids, no kids, no kids. Yeah, what is CNN? This is what CNN has to do and has to say. Look, this is a big red pill. This unbelievable clip drops the red pill nuke on the Somalian fraud scam. She lays it out cold. You can't afford... let me see. What does this say? You can't... Sorry. It's... You can't afford another kid because childcare is so expensive, but Somalian fraudsters got millions of your taxpayers' dollars for children care centers that don't exist. Where are the kids? That's what I was saying a minute ago. Where are all these kids? If you, they have data from hospitals, people have giving birth. How many kids are there? And how many kids that all of these daycare centers said that they've enrolled? Is there more enrollment than there are children in the area? I don't think that would be that hard to figure out. I don't think it would be that hard to figure out. And then you would need names. You would need names. Apparently, I just saw a clip earlier that I guess the FBI or whoever, Homeland Security, was going to one of these daycare centers, and they showed the door had been broken into. So somebody broke in and stole all the records. So they don't have any records. They can't prove that they're not being fraudulent. Well, we'll see when the parents show back up to re-register their children. Yeah, let's do that. Let's stake that out. Let's do that. Some Somalian fraudsters got millions of your taxpayer dollars for child care centers that don't exist. You can't afford a home, but 100 Somalians spent millions on your taxpayer dollars on luxury properties. Now, not all of them. Some of them went and bought lavish vehicles and took expensive, lavish vacations and stuff. But some of those, so like those women that we see standing in those centers that Nick Shirley was at, I'm just assuming that they're on welfare. They're probably getting a kickback. They're not on a payroll, but somehow they're getting paid to just hang out there in case somebody shows up. In case somebody shows up. So we'll have the propriety of looking legitimate. You're paying $300K a year for a terrible health care while they got millions of taxpayer dollars for health care centers that never opened. God, I'm mad. I mean, I'm all about, I've struggled throughout my life through different time periods of my life, and I'm sure the rest of you have too, right? You know, lean times, there's good times, there's lean times. There's been times at Christmas you had to budget so much. Even now, I have to budget my grocery money. And these people are getting millions of dollars. And the rest of us are working Americans, scraping and scrimping and having to save and have food plans because we just can't go buy a bunch of shit. Oh, I saw yesterday, which I'll probably do a video on it. They were saying that come January 1st, there's going to be some new changes to SNAP. Oh, SNAP. No pun intended. But you're not going to be able to buy junk food. Thank God. What the hell? Why were they able to buy potato chips and soda pop and all of this garbage? All of this garbage. That's the corrupt, dim elites exposed raw, putting unvetted migrants and grifters first while screwing over hardworking Americans. They robbed us blind for years and smeared anyone complaining about it as a racist. Yeah, to shut you up. We were gaslighted, and a lot of people fell for the banana in the tailpipe. I never fell for it. I was like, this is all bullshit. This is all smoke and mirrors. That's because when you bring all of these low IQ, third world, always the same map into the country, guess what? It lowers the IQ. And then you have these people in these communities with our children going to school. You just lowered their IQ. Go look it up. I'm not making this up. It's true. They can go make their own damn country great. Don't come here and try to get in office and then change shit because you just left a shithole, but you keep sending money back to Somalia. Like Omar's all like, oh yeah, she is all about Somalia. And she is not the only one. What she says is what every damn one of them feel. That their first loyalty is to Somalia, the shithole. But they want to come here. Somebody had propped her up. And how the hell does she have $30 million in her bank account? Apparently her husband's website has been taken down because they're under scrutiny. How the hell did she start out with, maybe a couple thou in the bank, and now they got $3 million just in a couple of years? Stop. It's too good to be true. If it's too good to be true, it is not. Every day, patriots finally shining the light. Force the freezes and audits. Trump's team is cutting off the cash and cleaning house fast. Real Americans are taking our country back. And you know what? I hope so. I hope so. Like I said, I've heard a lot of people talking like if we don't see action, they're going to lose the midterm elections. They're going to go, well, what hell? They're not doing shit. I know it sounds crazy. But people are like, well, what does it matter? Here's Elon Musk. No assimilation, just fraud and not contributing via work. Again, I think they are being puppeteered because they at low IQ. It's always the same map. 89% of Somalian immigrant households with children are on some type of welfare. 86% of Somalian households. And they're not integrating and they're not assimilating. This is long-term dependency. Like I told you earlier, a lot of these have been here for over a decade. And look, we have decade welfare in America with our own American citizens. We can deal with that. We cannot deal with this. We cannot deal with this. And look, it's the Democrats who've kept these people on welfare systems for all these years by telling them that, telling black people, well, if you're educated, you're just being white, and the whites are racist. It's retarded. They fell for the banana in the tailpipe. Black people out there, stop it. Get educated. It's not that you're white. It's that you don't want to sound retarded. Do you want to be low IQ like the continent of Africa? Because it's always the same map. Always the same map. 75 down. 70 is considered retarded. IQ. And what has the Department of Education done? They've lowered the IQ of our children. When my kid was little and they told me they were going to teach him phonics, they're going to teach him memorization. I went home and, well, I wasn't working at the time. I was fortunate enough to be able to stay home with him and start teaching him phonics. Guys, you got to take matters in your own hands. You're going to have to take matters in your own hands. Let's see. That's long-term dependency. She seems to be talking just for the sake of talking. Yeah, that guy. Y'all ought to check him out. What is his name? Jeffrey Mead. He's got some good stuff on X. Oh, let me go back over here. Let's see where we are. After seeing the fraud that was exposed in Minnesota, I decided to investigate a daycare center in Philadelphia. Guys, this is everywhere. Maternity Care Coalition. What I found was a website that provided very little information and phone number that led to a voicemail which claimed that they were closed for Independence Day and seemingly abandoned building with blacked out windows. What makes it all of this sickening is that the government has given this organization $23 million to run daycares like this one. Where's all that money? Again, I think these people are pawns in a bigger scheme of smarter fish. People with high IQ who are pieces of shit and just use them to have these fronts and just paid them. I think that's my story and I'm still sticking to it. Representative Ilhan Omar fraud investigation. How did the poorest member of Congress become one of the richest in just a few short years? Omar entered the Congress in 2018 with a massive $65,000 debt. She's now worth $30 million. Her salary is $174,000. How is this possible? I don't know. Look, I've said this in other videos. I don't know how. Well, we know how Pelosi got rich. Her husband has these vineyards. I guess they got these bed and breakfasts or whatever, right? But there were other Democrat and probably Republicans too, we'll throw that out there, who are millionaires. The mayor of Chicago is worth $1 to $5 million. His salary is, I believe it's either like 100, maybe similar to hers, something like 170,000, whatever it is, right? Which would be great, right? If I was making that a year, I would feel like a king. Anything like that. But no, these people, These governors, these mayors, these representatives, these senators, how the fuck did they become multi-millionaires because they made a career in politics in the public sector? This is the kind of money people make in the private sector. I think they all need to be investigated. There's just so much to do. Follow the money. How are these representatives of our states, different cities across the country, have become multi-millionaires? Working for the people. You're not supposed to become a millionaire working for the people. They got, what, insider trade? Boy, they sure went after, what's her name for inside trading? Martha Stewart. They went after her. After the federal scandal in Minnesota, a TikToker decided to investigate a daycare center in Ohio, which has the country's second largest Somalian population. What, these evil geniuses just brought in all these Somalians, put them in different parts of the country, and then just used them as puppets because they are retarded? And I'm not just saying that to downgrade these people. It's true. Their IQ. Go look it up. I'm not making this up. By plugging the address into Google Maps, he discovered that many of the buildings didn't look like a typical child care facility, lacking playgrounds, proper signature, and even having blacked out windows. That is a trend we've been seeing about the blacked out windows. Now, I get it. You wouldn't want somebody to just walk up and just peer into children playing. But you would think that they would have an office in the front, right? An office in the front and a speaker at the door. Because I know when I go to the school to pick up my kid, I have to have my ID with me. I have to go up and there's this thing that has a camera on it and I got to push the button and they can talk to me. I mean, right? Okay, I get it. You don't want just people because that's what CNN and then we're trying to say, well, nobody's just going to let them in there because what? Now they're trying to say Nick is a pedophile, by the way. I saw something about that last night, which is completely retarded. They're finding any way they can to attack this young man. Even more striking, he found that several of these daycare centers had donated money to the same Somali congressman. Wow, isn't that special? Isn't that special? The fraud in Minnesota is just the tip of the iceberg, people. It is just the tip of the iceberg. Minnesota healthcare company run by Mohammed caught billing Medicaid for patients who never even solicited their services and who never met. They listed offices, addresses, was deserted with a reporter when a reporter showed up. This is what I was telling you about the Medicaid fraud that billed her. Look at that. Billed the Medicaid that she never served. But Mohammed, wasn't he already, he was already taken care of. Marcio Rubio says, if you invite me into your home for dinner and I go to your house and I start putting mud on your couch and spraying paint in your kitchen, you're going to kick me out. We're going to do the same thing if you come into this come into the U.S. as a visitor. I will believe it when I see it because that's exactly what they've done. They've thrown mud at our face. You've got the people in Dearborn, Michigan, standing up and shouting, death to Americans, death to Israel. Their whole damn city structure is all Muslims. They want Sharia law. This is happening in Texas as well. We need to put a stop to it. You could call me Islamophobia all you want. I don't give a shit. Maybe you need to go do some homework. Some of these people who just become Muslims don't even know what the fucking Quran says. Yeah, I said it. I said it. They don't even know. They don't even realize over 200 sources in the Sadi, the Quran, all of it says Muhammad is a pedophile. He married her at 6 and he consummated the marriage when she was 9. So just stop it. Just stop it. Oh, and Muhammad is supposed to be the most pure person who ever lived. No, that is an antichrist. That is blasphemous because Jesus Christ was the only perfect human person to ever walk the face of the earth. And they say their Muhammad is? Yeah, I said it. I said it. Trader Tim, time to answer for your crimes. We're bringing in Tampon Tim Waltz to answer for massive fraud. Now this, January 7th. Now, I don't want to to see a bunch of stupid hearings, do you? Do you want to see a bunch of stupid hearings? No, I want to see arrests. I want to see investigations. I want to hear reports. Who have you arrested? I mean, is it so deep they're not going to be able to find it? Did they stay so hidden, the powers that be who pulled the hamstrings of these low IQ Somalians? Like, Tim didn't know anything about it. This shit came out in 2015. They've known that there was fraud. There was no guidelines or guardrails put on any of this for the past decade. But the floodgates opened during Biden administration, during the pandemic. Oh, we need child care. Why did we need child care? A lot of businesses closed down and people stayed home, and Biden was giving everybody a stimulus check. Now, I know the post office stayed open. Some businesses stayed open. So you needed child care? You needed to feed the children? What, the people at home couldn't feed their kids? Stop it. This is retarded. Holy crap, Minnesota lawmaker confirms credible whistleblowers have come forward proving Tim Walz and his team threatened them with accusations of racism and Islamophobia if they expose Somalian fraud. Let's hope that they have the receipts to prove. I mean, I hope they come out. I hope they recorded this shit or they videotaped it. And where is it? That Tim knew. These people came to Tim reporting this fraud. They were reporting it, and he did nothing. And he did nothing. In fact, they were saying they were threatened. They're going to lose their job. They're going to be demoted, blah, blah, blah. Nick Shirley's right-hand man, Dave, is going full throttle on games played. David just filed a formal criminal complaint against Governor Tim Walz for violating Minnesota Statute 3.97 Subdivision 9, alleging delegation of duty overseeing the legislation audit, failing to stop billions of rampant fraud. Investigation's ongoing. I think Tim's going to have a bad day, and he deserves it. What? Yeah! Okay. Big-time lawyers go and represent him pro bono because every tyrannical black robe judges inferior have sued Trump, put stay against Trump every fucking day. You turn around. They are stopping him from getting illegals out. One of them's serving time because she actually hid one, telling one to go this way to try to stop the ICE people from getting them. Yeah, she's retarded. He's going to sue Tim Walz. He needs backing. He needs some serious backing. And to prove that Walz did this. So good. Somebody's suing them for a change. Wow. Because I'm tired of seeing the DOJ get sued, Trump gets sued, the FBI gets sued, ICE is getting sued. Didn't that what we elected Donald Trump for? Was to get these people out, to shut down the border. And now we're finding out all of this fraud. Apparently we didn't just find out. I'm going to keep bringing it up. This shit has been going on since 2015 that we know of. Maybe even further. Oh, let's talk about Islam. Islam's the problem. And you're saying, well, isn't this two different stories? No. Somalians are Muslims. They practice Islam. Now, if I got that in the wrong order, I don't even give a shit. You can put in the comment going, oh, no, they're not Muslims. They're Somalians. They just practice Islam. But fuck, I don't even give a fuck. All I know is they follow the Quran. Whether they're Sunni or Shiites, I don't give a shit. They follow Muhammad. Fuck all of them. Can someone explain to me how it's Islamophobic? Good Lord, I can't even talk. I need some water. Where's my water? To be deeply alarmed by this. I'm not quoting critics of Islam, and I'm not misinterpreting text. I'm literally listening to Muslims themselves clearly affirm that in an ideal Islamic state, apostates should be executed. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that. I knew that. I'm literally listening to Muslims themselves clearly affirm that in an ideal Islamic state, apostates should be executed, and that blasphemy deserves death as well. So that's part of the Sharia law too, guys. You can't talk bad about their prophet. Isn't that pesky constitution's going to get in the way of this shit, right? Because I could sit here and tell you, you're Muhammad's pedophile. Yeah, I said it. And some dumbass said he nursed him when he was little. And y'all believe it? That it was ordained by Allah to save Muhammad with some man in his breasts? And what's up with the Al-Zut story? It's like Islam, it's just full of pedos and homosexuality. What is happening? What is happening? Go Google the Al-Zut story. I'm not making this shit up. This more and more I have learned about Islam, the more and more I am angry. And we've allowed this, and we've heard for decades of how peaceful Islam is, and it's a beautiful book, and the writing is beautiful, and all of this it's all bullshit. It's just been gaslighting by telling you what Nick Shirley is a white supremacist. If that truly reflects their theology and their modern society, why is fear considered intolerable and bigoted? Yes. Irrational or bigoted. My eyes. I gotta follow where it. Isn't it hatred to Muslims to say this is terrifying? Is it a sober response to what the doctrine itself demands? Yeah, so if you're apostate, that means you left Islam for Christianity or for Buddhism or whatever. You were like, oh, Muhammad's a pedo. Oh, my God, some guy nursed him when he was a baby. This is retarded. I'm going somewhere else. I'm looking somewhere else. In their country, they can kill you for that because you're an apostate. Apostate prophet, if y'all go look at him, he did a show the other night, and he said if he went to Turkey or if he went any of those places, they would arrest him because he's become a Christian. He can't even go there. In a Christian ideal society, people are free to believe or not to believe. Violence is not the enforcement tool for orthodoxy. The highest moral expression is love, not compulsion. And that's what they do. They compel you to do this. So why is it wrong to say that people have a legitimate reason to be afraid of a system that openly sanctions death for disbelief or criticism? And y'all can go look up PBD, where I had watched this. And this is an older clip. I had watched this a while back, and they were discussing. And this guy right here, I believe he's a Jew, and he had left because they were going to kill him and his family. So these guys are just having this debate, and this idiot right here, and that's Daniel Hakachu right here. Oh, God. These people are retarded. And this guy right here just wrote a book. He was on David Wood's show last night. So if y'all want to look up David Wood, go to his channel. His channel is Apologetics Roadshow Apologetics, something to that effect. And you can look up Apostate Prophet. Go check him out. You will learn a lot about Islam. Now, some people will write in their chats and go, hey, they want to talk about demons or whatever, or something else to do with Christianity. And he's like, no, what they focus on is destroying Islam. And I really like it. They focus on destroying Islam and not in the Al-Zut way. Let's see. The more I study Islam, the more I'm convinced that Islamophobia as a blanket label is a sham. once you dig into its origins and foundations. I'm telling you, man, the more and more you dig in. And these people are running daycare centers. Okay, I know it's rhetorical because there was no kids there, but good God almighty, you would never let your children go there, for Pete's sake, or let them take care of your mother. The Somalian community came to Minnesota and discovered America's politicians were willing to partner with them to rob American taxpayers. Yeah. Yes, they did. Minnesota economy doesn't work without child care providers, so we're giving them a raise. And when was this? I don't see the date. October 20th, 2023. It's right up, it's right up here. Okay, so then it says we're providing $316 million in direct funding to boost pay for child care providers, all while building a stronger child care system for middle-class families. Oh my God, with no oversight. With no oversight. And it's all in the Somalian communities. Unless I see other evidence elsewise they show me that in white communities or black communities that they set up these programs for black people or for white people. All of this shit is in the Somalian community. It's in the Somalian community. Seattle, Washington, investigating Somalian daycares. My God, people, it's all over the country. My God, and Somalians call police and lie saying he has a gun. This is, well, that's not the guy that did the video. This video is from another YouTuber who's an investigator like Nick Shirley. Finds 20 Somalian daycares in a 3-block area of subsidizing housing, same style as Livingston, Maine, and goes to 12 and has doors slammed in his face. The community gets pissed off that he is investigating and tried to have him removed by lying to the police, saying he is armed with a gun and flashed it at them, which was completely made up. In Maine, we found the same style being found in Seattle and Boston. There are clusters with countless empty daycares that collect money from taxpayers. I know this video's gone long. This has gone way long. Over 40 daycare centers in Columbus, Ohio, open up using the same defunct Somalian shell company of the same day, and collected $14 million in subsidies in 2024 alone. Just cut off the subsidies altogether. It's out of control. I agree. Just cut it off. This is James Woods, ladies and gentlemen. He was in Mississippi Burning. He played the white supremacist guy, where they aged him really well. Excellent movie, by the way. He was also the pimp in Casino. Remember when Robert De Niro hooks up with the blonde? Oh my God, what's her name? Jeez, I forgot her name. Yeah, she's become irrelevant, hasn't she? So in the movie, he's the one that raised her and pimped her out as a young girl, but she somehow stayed connected to him. But James Woods plays this pimp kind of character as such a sleazy guy. He did a great job. I thought they should have had more of him in Casino. Casino is a great movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And Wise Guys, Goodfellas. Goodfellas. Actually, my kid was asking me last night if he could watch Goodfellas. I was like, absolutely not. Not yet. He goes, why? I said, because every other word is bad. I mean, some movies we watch does have some foul language in it because, I mean, he's 15, but Goodfellas, it's a bit much, and it's pretty brutal. It's the simple, folks. Stop all illegal immigration. Deport all illegal aliens here now. Enact voter ID laws. That's simple enough. That will solve every problem America has. And we will reduce taxes, stop crime, fraud, Democrat DEI scams, inflation, homelessness, and the housing crisis. Viva la America! There you have it. How many problems do you think it'll solve? You will be damned. You could just walk out the door and pick any job you want. If we just get big planes and start getting them all the fuck out of here. Yeah, I said it. We're done. We're done. And you know what? Gavin Newsom, Tampon Tim, and the rest of them, dump them off in Somalia with not a dime in their pocket. Yeah. And shut down air flights out of Somalia. Nope. We'll shoot down your plane. They're going to stay there. Or put them somewhere. I think all of these people who get tied into, because there's the puppet masters, people. The puppet masters did this and used the Somalians. Because well, if we get caught, it's the Somalians that are going to be the ones getting caught. So you know they've been covering their tracks. Pray that God will allow these investigators and bless the DOJ and the FBI, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, President Trump, all of his team, Duffy, all of them can resource this together and find out who was pulling these strings. Where did all this money go? Who was getting this money? Wow, a Somalian immigrant named Abi Dasani is running for Minnesota State Representative as a Democrat. And you'll never believe this. He owns a daycare center. Oh, I can believe it. I can believe it. What needs to happen is right now, as we speak, right now, they need to go, the federal military needs to go in there and they need to stand and know you cannot vote if you're not an American citizen. And they need to get these people out of here because they're going to keep voting in these people. They're going to keep voting in these people in all of these different states across the country if we don't do something about it now. You got Mendummy in New York telling everybody they're going to get free shit. They've already been giving free shit to these Somalians here in Minnesota. Of course they're going to keep electing Democrats. Oh my God, I'm so pissed. I am so pissed. These are the actual faces of Minnesota daycare owners. Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. Again, it's always the same map. Somebody has used them as puppeteers. And we need to know who's the puppeteers controlling the Somalians. Low IQ, always the same map. Okay, we're going to finish up with this because, my God, this has gone long. And I still had massive more to go through. 48 mosques in the past 2 years in Texas. Holla places at Walmart. Sharia City in East Plano. New Sharia school in Linder, Texas. Islam is taking over Texas just like they took over the UK. I'm the only one that can stop the Islamification of Texas. Vote for me, Congress, so Texas remains Christian. And here she is, Valentina. What is her last name? Here you go. Let's see this.
48 mosques have been built in Texas just in the past 2 years. Now we have a halal place at your local Walmart. And if that wasn't enough, we have a Sharia school called the Renaissance being built in Leander, Texas. Minnesota has the scammy Somalians, and Texas has the terrorist Muslims. And all of this happened under Republican leadership. What we need to come so we can kick every terrorist Muslim and scammy Somalian out of Texas.
We need to get them out. We need to get them out. Again, you have to understand something. Somalians and Muslims, they worship the same Allah. They might be Sunni, they might be Shiite. There's different factions of the practice of Islam, but it's all boils down to Muhammad and Allah, right? They worship the same shit, and it's definitely shit. So you have to understand that they all are hand in hand together. They certainly are. Facebook post about Trump leads to an unexpected police visit. Yeah, somehow this woman, what did she say? Hey, Trump, I've got to... I could barely see that. I'm going to go to your golf course and be the next shooter. Oh, shit. And she said, lots of laughs. I'm bored. Be there soon. Oh, my God. They came and arrested her. I'll read that for you. Hey, Trump, I'm going to go to the golf course and I'll be the next shooter. Throw her ass in jail. Get her out of the country because she looked like a foreigner to me. She looked like a foreigner to me. It has been revealed that a whistleblower inside Minnesota's DHS, Scott Stillman, uncovered the Somalia daycare fraud network in 2018, actually citing figures of 100 million. Good God, this has been going on and on and on and on and on.
So we are
guys, I'm going to wrap this up because it's just pile upon pile upon pile of fraud. We know who it is. We need to find who the puppeteers are. Who are using this? What? Y'all hear her? I mean, what is it? Using the Somalians to embezzle, defraud the country. It's pure evil genius. Because their IQ ain't high enough to figure this out. I heard the attorney Andrew Blanca said this yesterday or the day before I was watching. He's like, there's no way. That's where I got he's like, there's no way they figured this out. This is so massive. There has to be something behind it. Hell, you know what? This whole time that we've been getting scammed of our tax dollars through this operation is those tax dollars have been funding left-wing organizations, BLM, defund the police, pay off colleges to spout propaganda, bring in more people. It's like our own money has been used as a sword against us. Like and share and subscribe and let me know what you think.